All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I didn't intend on doing a full video today, but here we are. The door, I've been putting it off, and I gotta say it came out way better than I thought it would. I was basing this door off of an image that is burned into my head from some soap opera in the 90s, early 90s, I guess, because I was a little kid at home watching them with my mom while playing Legos and Hot Wheels on the floor. And somebody had a loft, and they had a big door. It had a big handle like that, and the handle actually flipped to open, and the door slid. Didn't go all that far with it, but the general look of it, it worked out fantastic. So the wall is in, it's mounted. You saw there at the end, I switched to some shorter nails, nailed them from this side out. They popped through the back just a little bit, not a big deal. I'm happy with this. We still have this other wall to do. Right now I have clamps on the bottom. I did throw some other little pieces of this kind of wood on the bottom, on the back, because there was a little bit of a gap between the brick there. I didn't want to use any like silicone or anything like that, because then it would need to be painted. Hindsight, I probably should have put something there and painted it up, but oh well. I've got that down there drying. It blocks the light coming through for the most part. It's good enough for the scale. So, I got the 3-window coupe in here. It kind of seemed most fitting for this environment. But I dig the door. Those are actual button head pins for sewing, like dressmaker pins or something. I can't remember what the package said now. And yeah, that was a lot of stabby fun trying to put those through. If you saw, I was hoping I could just push them through the styrene, but everywhere I put them is 2 layers of styrene. It would not go through. And I tried to use a soldering iron. I put the broken drill bit the right size in it, because I broke the drill bit trying to push it through. And long story, the drill bit was so small, I only had an adapter to run it on the Dremel, and I can't find the adapter to run something that small on the Dremel. So I was trying to do it by hand, and I broke the drill bit. So I used the drill bit on a soldering iron, didn't work. Used my lighter to heat the drill bit and push it through. I'd get 2.5 pins for every time I'd heat it. Took some time. So lots of happy accidents with that. I used the Rust-Oleum, cold galvanizing compound gray primer. Painted straight over the styrene. Probably a little too thick. The places where the super glue for the pins hadn't dried all the way started cracking. It's like, okay. I dried it with a heat gun, another medium coat. Looked pretty good, but it made some damage on it. So we're just rocking with it. It looked like there was some gouges and dents and stuff in the metal door. So happy accident there. I started touching it after I dried the second coat with the heat gun, and of course those pins are polished, so the paint didn't really stick to the top of the head of the pins. So I kind of just wiped them all down roughly, and it's just a combination of all these little mess ups that made it work. The pin heads, you can see, are shiny, look like they're worn. A couple of them are sticking out and bent, didn't go all the way down. The glue kept drying on me a little quicker than I was prepared. I'm not digging the diamond plate at the bottom. I thought it was kind of a good idea, but I would rather have just done a border all the way around and put the pins in. I used the AK, not the rust streaks. I used a streaking grime. I tried an engine oil and another one first. I didn't like it. I just tested it on the corner. The streaking grime worked out fantastic. But I forgot also, I used a VHT satin clear. It's one of their engine paints. It's for extreme high temp. It's the only satin clear I had laying around. That stuff is fantastic. So I put that over the primer, and then we weathered on top of that. So it kind of gave it a deeper look, add a little bit of depth to it. Then the streaking grime made all the streaks. It got down in all the cracks and made the different levels pop out of it. And then I tried to do some of the black pigment and pigment binder, sorry. And it yeah. That's why the diamond plate looks darker, and I realized that the paint was still coming off. So I rubbed off a spot right there, and I tried to come back. Places where I had messed it up, I actually used the iron paint that's going to rust on its own naturally. So there's a big spot down here, some of that in there, and up there in that corner. So eventually that will rust over and look like the door handle, because that's what that door handle was done in originally. The door handle was one of the grab handles on my Apocalypse Sand Scorcher. And that body's broken. It broke at USTE about 3 years ago, rolled off my table. So I do plan on rebuilding that, but I knew that handle had the look I wanted. So I went over there and just snapped one off of it. And yeah, made it work onto this. So I love the door. It's exactly what I envisioned. The double frame thing, just that's how it worked out to kind of fit and hide the edges of the shiplap of the wood. And yeah, I'm digging it. It's a good size. Let me grab Bob real quick. So you can see it's pretty good scale size for Bob. I imagine Bob's at least 6 footish. So that's about where I stand with the doors, being 6'3". It worked out pretty well. A little bit of trial and error getting the door to fit in there. I had to cut some of the wood on the other side, which I spent all that time cutting these little bitty strips of this stuff on that side, and you can't see it at all. But I know it's there, so yeah, scale. But yeah, I'm digging it. This is I got the windows glued in. I just used wood glue. The plastic for the glass, I used some of that rubber black sticky tack stuff that I showed in a couple videos ago. Same stuff I did the back window in this, or I had bought to do the back window in that. And yeah, just something to keep it in place, not trying to glue, I'm not trying to stain it. There's some of the clumps of it showing in the corners. It looks like some kind of old window gasket has just deteriorated and slumped down into the bottom. Another happy accident. I've got the lights just mocked up right now. Again, we talked about these, another video, these are these LED warm lights. I think 2 is going to be enough. I've got it kind of catty cornered across this. Is only going to be 2 walls. So I think it'll work out fine. I'm just digging that door. I'm glad I didn't do, I was thinking about doing cross bracing on it and all this stuff. And for once I listened to myself and kept it simple. And very happy with how that came out. So let me think, is there anything else I've missed? I don't think so. So I guess we'll wrap this one up here. What is this, part 4? I don't even know. Next step, we've got to do the epoxy floor. We have to finish the other wall. That wood did ship yesterday, and it'll probably be here Tuesday or Wednesday. Monday's a holiday, so I don't know if it's coming to post office. So it looks like we'll probably be doing the floor before we finish the other wall, unfortunately. And one thing I've forgotten all about was electrical. All my shops, I have conduit running through the beams. I just last minute ordered some outlets. I can't find the same ones I had anymore. I thought they were done by Hoyfab, but they're not on a Shapeways store. I found some nice ones that I liked. Paid $40 for 3 of them. So we're gonna have a very minimal electrical system in this shop. Honestly, it may all be on this wall since we have not done it yet, because I need to actually come through and drill into the rafters and run conduit through. So I've got to find my metal stash and see if I have any more 1/4 inch round and put a few outlets in that wall. Yay. So lots of things to think about still. Scales, accessories, I haven't found anything good yet. As far as like vintage signs and vintage things like that. Got some eBay time scheduled for later. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys watching. Get out there and try something. I didn't do this with any plan. I had nothing but an idea in my head, and I got some tools and some time, you know? You can do anything. Just get out there and try it. Keep it scale, and I'll see you in the next video.